And this is a picture here of Ed Zigler here on the right. This is in 1970 when he was serving in the Nixon administration. So you see President Nixon here, and they're looking at a copy of the 1970 Conference on Children, White House Conference on Children. And you can see Dick Nixon there holding the copy and looking at it. That copy, actually, this report is actually this very one right here. that's also sitting next to me. Ed and I were very close. I worked like really closely with him. We weren't just publishing lots of papers on Head Start and other topics together and writing books on it, but in many ways he was like a father figure to me. I knew the key code to get into his house, and then after work, after he had retired, I'd just come over and punch in the key code and walk in, and we'd sit down at the table and talk, and that was the kind of relationship that I had with him for many, many years, up until he passed away in February of 2019. He's known as, to many people, the father of Head Start. Now the reality is Head Start had many fathers and many mothers, but no one really had as long of a connection to Head Start as Ed, as the person who was in the room when it was created, the person who designed the elements of it, and for 2 years in the Nixon administration actually ran Head Start as a program out of the White House.
Sadly, there are little children who are already headed for lives of frustration and misery. No one ever read them a story, taught them a nursery rhyme, showed them about colors, letters, and numbers.
We originally thought we would enroll 25,000 children in that first summer program. Applications for Head Start began pouring into OEO, and we wound up enrolling over 560,000 children in that first summer. Upon taking charge of Head Start, I immediately announced that Head Start would mount an improvement and innovation effort, and that Head Start would become a national laboratory in which we would mount and assess programs holding promise for improving the development of children living in poverty.
There's a lot of government programs that are created, but most government programs, especially safety net programs and support programs like this, usually don't last 60 years. 60 years is a long time. What else has lasted that long other than Social Security? This is an enduring program. And then the question then becomes, well, why has it endured so long? And I think it's a combination of factors. I mean, one is that we're talking about children, and across aisles, people might have different opinions as to what is the role of government in supporting children and families. But it's hard to find somebody who's an opponent to children. This is about children. This is about our responsibility as adults to provide for our children and to provide for our neighbors. Also sitting next to me at almost all instances is this. This is the Manual of Policies and Instructions for Head Start in 1967. It was the first Head Start performance standards. Now, if you were to look at the Head Start performance standards, they're about maybe that thick. But in 1967, they were this thick. This was Ed's original copy that he had kept with him. So that's some of the things that sat next to me all the time.